welcome to a blustery Aldeburgh Beach in Suffolk. My name's Matt, I'm addicted to angling on YouTube and I'm an all-round angler, everything from sea fishing, lake fishing, all the way through to a little bit of boat fishing on the sea as well. Now today is something a little bit different. Today I am fishing in a memorial match. Memorial match for a man called Alby Clements, absolutely lovely bloke he was. He was one of the nicest blokes I've ever met in the match angling world. Always had time to chat to people, always had time to, whenever you turned up, even if he didn't know you, he would have a chat with you. So I just felt right to come down here today and fish this memorial match. Now there's around about 60 anglers here today. The sea is a really big chocolatey colour. There's a little bit of a lump on it as well. It's blowing up, the wind is going to drop down, but at the minute I believe it's blowing south-southwesterly, blowing at around about 20 mile an hour. So the tactics I wanted to use, I can't. I was hoping to come down here, rolling lead, roll it around, bam, 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 pull out as many little fish as I could, maybe pick up a bonus fish, 18 centimetres and over this matches. We'll go into all that in a little while. But I've changed tactics. I'm just going to smack out big rag and lug baits, 2-hook pedal, see if I can get them bonus fish, see if I can pick up them doggies, see if I can rack up them points. Now there's a lot of good anglers here today, some of the best anglers in the country are fishing. You've got from the likes of Steve Adams, and you've got probably one of the best match anglers in the country at the minute, a young lad called Cameron Turner. He's pegged next to me, so I'm pretty sure we'll be seeing quite a lot of fish from him today. I've got about 15 minutes before the match starts. I'll come back in a little while, I'll go through all the tactics with you that I'm using, what I'm doing. I'll go through the match angling side of things as well, points to measure, etc, etc, and hopefully we'll get some fish. Hopefully we'll get some fish. Like I say, there's some very good anglers here today, so up against some stiff competition. Let's see what happens. Right, I've got about 10 minutes till the all-in now, so I'm just going to take you through points to measure match fishing. Now basically this match is anything over 18 centimetres, so any fish over 18 centimetres count in the match. You get a card, and on this card you have your name, obviously your species of the fish, your weight, running total, your length and your peg number. Obviously the person next door to you, either side, has to sign it off to say that they've seen the fish, and you then have to return the fish straight away. Now if you catch a fish like a bonus fish, like a cod or a bass that you want to keep, you then have to cut a notch out of the tail within the view of everyone else, or within the view of the person next to you, just so you can't re-weigh that in, because when money's at stake, unfortunately people will sometimes cheat. None of these lads here will. These lads in this match here I know are all fantastic anglers. I used to match fish with them years ago. Never really got into it as much as these lads. I used to just dabble in it every now and then. Had a couple of wins, but that's about it. And this on the back is your points chart. Now you got everything there: bass, cod. Say you catch a cod, for instance, 50 centimetre cod, 122 points. That goes on the list, and you just add them all up at the end, and the person with the most points wins. It's simple. It is absolutely simple. So that is points to measure match fishing. Everyone's getting ready, everyone's sort of casting out, getting their lines wet. I'm obviously using braid, so I've cast mine out, wet my braid, dragged it back through. With braid, if I'm match fishing, I always like, if I'm using heavy braid, I'll cast out to the distance and then I'll slowly drag it back just to see if there's any snags in the area. If there is, you then got time to reline, reset up before the match starts, and you know which area to avoid. Luckily for me, everywhere out there is clear from what I can feel so far, so I shouldn't have any problems with snags. Depends if it gets dragged down by the tide. I mean, it's fairly large tide today, not massive, but it is fairly large. We're fishing, I think, high tides at midday, so we're then going to be up and over the top, which for this venue is absolutely spot on. Right, I am more or less ready to go. Baits are set up. Fishing 2-hook pulley pedals. Like I say, I really want to get stuck in today, see if I can get some bonus fish. Right, we've got 3 minutes till the start, so I'm going to come off this and I'll come back to you in a little while once I'm settled down, once the fishing has started. Bosh, there we have it. First cast is in the sea, overhead thump. Some of the lads are laying it out a long way, some are dropping in short. I've got a feeling I've put it probably about 60-70 yards, I reckon, maybe. You know, I've put it out there, it's sitting there. In my eyes, I might drop it in really short later on, because the way that sea's looking, the way the right waves are rolling and the colour in that water, there's going to be dogs, there will be codling, and I'm pretty certain there's going to be bass around. So I'm going to give it halfway through the match, see if anything happens, and I'll drop it in for an hour if I haven't had anything, and see if I can pull out a birdie, because I'm pretty certain they will be cruising up and down here. Thorpeness area, which is where I am, I'm pegged in the first section, down near the sluice. This area down here is notorious for bass, it really is, and codling. You know, they do pick up some good codling down here as well. I think there was one caught last week. On this set of tides this time of year, they could well be out there. Should I have bought crab? Yes, I should. All I've got is rag and lug, but big rag baits will do the do. You know, there's no two ways about that. So let's see what happens. See if we can get a fish out. Right, I'm now on my third cast. I've not had a fish yet. So, I've tried close in, I've tried a little way out, I've just whacked this one as hard as I can. Obviously not going to get as far as these pendulum boys, but it's out there, it's sitting there. This cast got another 15 minutes soaking time, and then I'm going to stick one out on a rolling lead, on a arrow lead. If you look at that, see if that can sort of find me something a bit further out. And then what I'm going to do after that, I'm going to start chopping and changing, coming in close with a bucket lead, rag, see if I can start picking these whiting out. I've not seen many fish come out, to be honest with you. Cameron next door has come over with a little whiting, seen a couple of little other silver fish come out, which I presume are whiting. They could be basslets, but at the minute it's not fishing that great. The water's absolutely spot on. I'm thinking the ebb might switch on, there might be some fish come through on the ebb, but we'll see. Like I say, tactics are going to be changed, chopping and changing until I can actually find something that's going to work and start bringing me the fishing. Apart from that, not really a lot to say, to be honest with you. I was hoping to start banging doggies out, but it's not happening. Like I say, the ebb, they could come through. It's flattening off. As soon as it turns sort of the ebb of the tide, it drops down to about 10 mile an hour. So the beach ledge room rod's out. Might change to that, might just stick with this and just do gentle plops with this. Closer in, see what I can pick out. Let's keep fishing, let's see what happens. Well, what can I say? At this moment in time, we're halfway through the match. I've not had a fish. The man next to me's not had a fish. All that's been coming out are tiny pin whiting. And when I say tiny, I'm talking, well, tiny. Biggest I've seen so far is 26. Cameron's brought that over to me, but I'm just seeing people bringing in strings of little silver fish. So, in my eyes, it's a bonus fish. It's just got to sit it out for these dogs. They're going to come through at some point. The water's chocolate. Like I say, yes, there is sun in the sky, but it's not going to be penetrating massively through that water to the point where it's going to put the fish off. That's just the waves doing that to the rod tip. You'll soon know if I get a dog, because that'll just go over quite abruptly, or it'll slack it off. But the big rag baits, put them out and see what happens. It's very slow, very slow, but that's fishing for you. You know, it's not a bad area. This part of the pegging is normally quite good. Like I say, there's normally bass down here. Dogs do get codling this time of year, so we'll sit it out and we'll see. We'll sit it out and we'll see. But it's turned into a beautiful day. The weather was meant to be really rainy and nasty today. Wind's dropped off, sun's come out. Has that put pay to the fishing? Maybe. But I'm very shocked, you know. I would have thought they would have been pouting coming out close in. I've tried close in with a little flapper, nothing at all. The bloke 3 pegs up from me, he was fishing close in. Like I say, he pulled out, looked like 18 centimetre white, and 3 of them, yes, it's points, but 2 dogs will wipe the floor with them, which is, you know, that will completely clear those whiting out of the way. 1 bonus fish today will give you a good head start, and then start working around that. So, see what happens. Got another couple of hours, tide's still flooding. I think it is a 20 past 2 high. I thought it was earlier than that, but obviously it's not. So as this tide comes up, maybe the next hour, the bonus fish may come through. I mean, there may even be smoothhound pups about. It's the sort of place you'd expect to find them this early in the season for this coast. I mean, they've been getting bigger 9-pound hounds off Felixstowe, offshore on the boats. So they're going to be in at some point. I reckon next big set of tides that'll push them in, but you never know, there could be anything hanging around. So let's see what happens. Let's crack on. I've still got nearly 3 hours to go, and plenty of time to bang out a couple of bonus fish. Well, as you can see, the weather's clagged right up. Hopefully that'll do well for the fishing. Hopefully it might bring the fish on the feed, on the flood if it's coming in. The wind hasn't got up, it's just become absolutely nasty with the rain. But it is what it is. It was predicted. It was predicted earlier than what it's turned up. But that could do well for the fishing. It could switch the fishing on, to be honest with you. Without that sun in the sky and this cloud cover, there could be more fish rolling on the flood and tide. But we'll see. We'll see. Anything could happen. Still fishless. Cameron beside me, he's on 3 whiting. The man the other side of me, he's just had a little rocklim. And like I say, I'm seeing a few little fish come in, but there's no dogs being caught yet, no bass, no cod. So 1 bonus fish will do it, and that is what I'm fishing for. So let's crack on. I hope I don't blank, I really do, but we'll see. We'll see. Well, I've got to show you the fish, but that's me off the blank now. 1 little whiting, 25 centimetres, which is 12 points. All I need now is a dog, bump them points up, or even some bigger whiting. I've had one at 25. Bloke next to me, when I went over to get my sheet signed, he had one at 30 as well. So coming up to the top of the tide, the bigger whiting seems to be maybe coming on the feed. Could be a case of now there's going to be a few fish coming out. We'll see. Hopefully the next fish I catch I'll be able to show you. That's the scorecard, as you can see. I had a whiting on there, so I'm not blagging you on camera because, you know, I haven't shown you the fish. But the next one, I promise you I'll show you. I was just in a rush, got it measured, threw it back, and yeah, let's see if we can get some more. Right, fish number 2, and this one I've actually managed to get on camera. 20 points, not the biggest fish, but a 30 centimetre whiting. Always a welcome sight in a match like this. Puts me on a running total of 32. I think there's someone down there near on 100 points, but that's not a bad little fish at all, to be honest with you. Gets me up there, gets me off obviously. I wasn't on the blank anyway, but I forgot to show you my last fish. But 32 points, got an hour left. Come on the dogs, you know, that is all I want now is a dog. A dog would obviously help massively, put me over 100 points if I get a big enough one, and put me in contention. But let's see what happens, let's crack on. We're now into the last 20 minutes of the match. I'm still only on 2 fish, 32 points. It's not been a great day for anyone, to be honest with you. I've seen one dog come out further up, which has obviously boosted whoever's points that was up. The plan to sit it out on big baits, to be honest with you, I've not really done any worse or any better than a few of the people that are fishing on scratching rigs. Rain's clagged in, tide's now ebbing, which theoretically should be the best for here, but it just hasn't turned on. I was expecting, you know, the last hour here with that tide ebbing, dogs and dogs, but it's just not happening. So 20 minutes to go. Let's see if anything can happen. You know, anything could happen in the last 20 minutes. All it takes is that one fish, or even if the dogs do suddenly switch on, if I can quickly smack out another one. But we'll see. Staying optimistic, staying very optimistic. 20 minutes to get a bonus fish. Let's see how this finishes off. Five minutes to go of the match. Right, last cast out, I literally just flicked it in close, just a bundle of rags, see if I can pick out a bass or something like that in the last 5 minutes. But it's been absolutely atrocious, to be honest with you. Weather's crap. Sea state was perfect, but hey ho, it is what it is. But I'm going to leave this one here on the beach. I'll probably come back to you in a little while, back at the presentation ceremony, and we'll wrap it up from there. Let's just... unless of course I get another fish, which I don't think I will, because I'm not doing very well at all. But hey ho, it is what it is. That's fishing for you at the end of the day.